The laughter echoed across the bright, sunlit gym so loudly that every workout came to a halt. Two undefeated twin black belts stood shoulder to shoulder, pointing at a quiet single father who had just dropped an old duffel bag beside the training mats. His faded t-shirt was damp with sweat from a construction shift, his worn-out sneakers had seen better days, and his tired eyes revealed countless sleepless nights. The brothers mocked him in front of everyone, insisting he didn't belong in a place reserved for real fighters. They laughed harder when they noticed the little girl waiting patiently on a nearby bench, proudly watching her father. The twins believed they had found the easiest target of the day. What they didn't know was that the quiet man they were humiliating had once survived some of the world's toughest Navy SEAL training, and before the afternoon ended, the entire gym would witness a lesson far greater than fighting. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, humility, and second chances still matter in this world, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Dad's Soul Diaries. Your support helps us continue sharing powerful stories that inspire millions around the world. The town of Silver Ridge woke every morning beneath clear blue skies, where warm daylight poured over quiet neighborhoods, busy parks, and family-owned businesses. Near the center of town stood Iron Summit Gym, famous for producing regional martial arts champions. Its walls displayed countless trophies, framed photographs, and championship belts. People came from neighboring cities hoping to train there, believing it represented discipline and excellence. Unfortunately, success had slowly changed the atmosphere inside. Some instructors remained humble, but many students admired only strength, titles, and victories. Among the gym's biggest stars were 29-year-old twin brothers Maddox and Mason Kincaid. Identical in appearance, they wore matching black belts and matching confidence. Their tournament victories had earned them thousands of online followers, sponsorships, and local fame. They were talented without question, but constant praise had slowly convinced them that anyone outside competitive martial arts was beneath them. Every new visitor became an opportunity to prove their superiority. That same morning, 42-year-old Ronan Hale arrived carrying an old gym bag over one shoulder while his 9-year-old daughter, Nora, skipped beside him holding a water bottle almost as big as her arms. Ronan worked long construction shifts 6 days a week, often beginning before sunrise and finishing only when the afternoon sun hung low over the city. Ever since his wife had passed away from a sudden illness 3 years earlier, every decision in his life revolved around Nora. He packed her school lunches before dawn, braided her hair despite never learning properly, attended every school performance, and quietly ignored his own exhaustion so she would never feel alone. Most people saw only a hardworking single father. Nobody knew about the chapter of his life he had carefully buried. Years before becoming a construction worker, Ronan had served as a Navy SEAL. He had endured brutal training, completed dangerous rescue missions, and led operations where failure meant innocent lives would be lost. When military service ended, he promised himself that violence would never again become part of his identity unless protecting someone left him no other choice. He stored every medal inside a wooden box beneath his bed and never spoke about them, believing actions mattered more than memories. Nora had begged him for months to join a martial arts gym together. She believed training would help her become brave after losing her mother. Ronan finally saved enough money to purchase a modest family membership, hoping the gym would become a place where they could heal together. Instead, humiliation greeted them at the front door. As Ronan changed into simple training clothes, Maddox noticed his worn equipment and whispered loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear. Mason laughed, adding that charity memberships should include free confidence lessons. Several younger students awkwardly looked away, uncomfortable but unwilling to challenge the gym's biggest stars. Ronan ignored every insult. He focused on helping Nora tie her beginner's white belt. His calmness irritated the twins even more. They followed him toward the practice mats, questioning whether construction workers actually believed they could keep up with trained fighters. The comments became louder. More people gathered, sensing entertainment. Nora lowered her eyes. She wasn't embarrassed by her father. She was hurt by how people treated someone who had never been unkind to anyone. One elderly instructor watched quietly from across the room. He had spent decades teaching martial arts and recognized something unusual in Ronan's posture. There was remarkable balance in every movement, even while standing still. His eyes constantly scanned exits and surroundings without appearing nervous. His breathing remained slow despite the insults surrounding him. The instructor said nothing. He simply observed. Finally, Maddox challenged Ronan to a friendly sparring session. The crowd erupted with excitement. Phones appeared. People expected another viral video humiliating an inexperienced newcomer. Ronan politely declined. He explained he had only come to spend time with his daughter. The twins interpreted kindness as fear. Their laughter echoed through the gym. Nora quietly squeezed her father's hand. She whispered that they could simply go home. Ronan looked into her eyes and realized she wasn't asking because she was afraid. She simply didn't want him hurt. He smiled warmly. Then he calmly accepted the challenge, not to prove himself, but to show his daughter that dignity never requires anger. The gym owner established clear safety rules. No excessive force. Respect at all times. The afternoon sunlight streamed through the tall windows, illuminating the practice mats as everyone formed a large circle around them. Maddox stepped forward first. His confidence filled the room. He attacked immediately with explosive speed. Ronan barely moved. His footwork was effortless. Every strike missed by the smallest margin. There were no flashy movements. Only precise positioning developed through years of elite military training. Frustration slowly replaced confidence. Maddox attacked harder. Again, Ronan redirected his momentum without throwing a single punch, causing the younger man to stumble harmlessly onto the mat. The room became strangely quiet. No applause. Only confusion. Mason immediately stepped in, convinced his brother had become careless. His attacks came faster. More aggressive. Yet every movement met the same calm response. Ronan never chased victory. He simply controlled distance, redirected force, and remained composed. Within moments Mason also found himself gently pinned to the mat, completely unable to escape despite using all his strength. The audience stared in disbelief. Neither brother had landed a meaningful strike. Ronan released him immediately and stepped back respectfully. He bowed slightly. Still no celebration. Still no arrogance. The elderly instructor finally approached. He looked directly at Ronan before quietly asking if he had once served in the military. Ronan hesitated. Then nodded. The instructor smiled. He explained to the students that true professionals often moved exactly like that, without wasted energy, unnecessary emotion, or desire to embarrass anyone. When someone asked where Ronan had learned such remarkable control, he reluctantly admitted he had completed Navy SEAL training many years earlier. Silence filled the gym. The twins looked at one another. Everything suddenly made sense. The calm breathing. The effortless balance. The complete absence of ego. They realized they hadn't challenged an ordinary father. They had mocked someone who had faced dangers they could barely imagine. More importantly, they had done so in front of his daughter. Ronan knelt beside Nora. He smiled as though nothing extraordinary had happened. He reminded her that the strongest people never search for reasons to prove themselves. Real strength exists to protect others. Never to humiliate them. Those words struck the twins more deeply than any technique. After everyone left, Maddox and Mason remained sitting quietly on the edge of the mat. For the first time since earning their black belts, they questioned what those belts truly represented. Over the following weeks, remarkable changes spread through Iron Summit Gym. The twins personally welcomed every newcomer. They carried equipment for elderly members. They volunteered to teach free self-defense classes for single parents and children. Whenever beginners struggled, they encouraged them instead of mocking them. The atmosphere inside the gym slowly transformed. Competition remained. But compassion returned. Ronan and Nora continued attending every Saturday. She earned her yellow belt months later. Her smile during the ceremony reminded everyone why martial arts existed in the first place, not to create champions who demanded attention, but to build people who made others feel safe. The twins applauded louder than anyone. Months later, the gym hosted a charity tournament raising money for families who had lost loved ones serving their communities. Maddox and Mason insisted Ronan receive public recognition. He politely declined. Instead, he asked organizers to recognize local teachers, firefighters, nurses, and volunteers. The applause that afternoon honored everyday heroes rather than famous fighters. As people left beneath the warm afternoon sun, the elderly instructor quietly remarked that black belts measured years of practice. Character measured an entire lifetime. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that true greatness is found in humility rather than pride, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, leave a heartfelt comment, and subscribe to Dad's Soul Diaries for more emotional stories that inspire courage, kindness, and hope. Special request: before you go, comment "Real heroes stay humble" if you believe true strength is shown by protecting others instead of proving yourself. The sun slowly settled across Silver Ridge as Ronan and Nora walked hand in hand toward their old pickup truck. There were no championship trophies in his hands, no medals around his neck, and no cameras following him into the parking lot. Yet his daughter looked at him with a kind of pride no award could ever match. She had learned that afternoon that the strongest people rarely raise their voices, the bravest hearts rarely seek applause, and the greatest victories are not won by defeating an opponent, they are won by choosing humility when pride would be easier, compassion when revenge feels tempting, and love when the world expects anger. Those lessons would stay with her long after every bruise had healed, proving that the greatest legacy a father can leave is not the memory of his strength, but the example of his character.